Somewhere along the line, we decided that growing fruit was a luxury reserved for acres of land. We are here to tell you that is the great forgotten myth. We'll show you the stone fruit that thrives without a ladder, the vertical apple that grows in a 2-foot column, and the ancient secret that guarantees bushels of blueberries. We traded the messy, satisfying work of the garden for the gleaming, refrigerated aisles of the supermarket, convinced that self-sufficiency was simply too much trouble. The myth of the acre. Why we stopped growing food. There was a time when the ability to feed your family depended on practical knowledge, not property size. People in tenements grew food on fire escapes. They understood a simple truth. Growing food isn't about the size of the container, but the intelligence of the system. We lost touch with the genius of adaptation, the idea that you could miniaturize an entire orchard and hold it in your hand. This script reveals the secrets that allow anyone, anywhere, to harvest pounds of fresh, organic fruit. These are the forgotten methods that turn a tiny balcony into a personal food supply. Before we dive into the trees themselves, there is one non-negotiable, dirt-simple trick that underpins every successful container orchard. It's the step most modern gardeners skip, and it is called the secret top layer, which is the quiet magic that makes everything else work. The secret top layer, the quiet magic of mulch. If there is one universal dirt-simple truth lost, it's the profound power of a humble layer of mulch. Our great-grandparents knew a good garden depended on what lay on top of the soil. This secret top layer, a couple of inches of wood chips, straw, or pine needles, performs 3 critical tasks. First, it regulates soil temperature, insulating roots from extreme heat and cold. Second, and most vital, it retains moisture, cutting down on watering and saving your tree from stress. Finally, as this layer breaks down, it mimics nature's feeding process, adding micronutrients and reducing the need for expensive bottled fertilizers. This wisdom is a relic of resourcefulness. Why buy what you can get for free? Our grandparents knew the local sawmill's waste pile was a goldmine for the garden. This single step costs almost nothing. Yet its difference in plant health is dramatic. Now that the foundation is set, let's begin with the first tree that proves the power of this method, the nearly indestructible pomegranate. The indestructible jewel, rediscovering the pomegranate. We think of the pomegranate as a delicate, complicated import, but it harbors a secret. It is perhaps the most forgiving, nearly indestructible fruit tree for the impatient, modern gardener. Varieties like Nana or State Fair are absolute beasts in containers. The pomegranate is the perfect starting point because of its hidden biology. Unlike other trees, it has a naturally compact root structure. It is perfectly content in a 15 to 20-gallon container. This, paired with its ancient rugged nature, gives it one forgotten virtue: drought tolerance. You can forget to water it for a few days, and it will forgive you where a thirsty lemon would have already failed. A single tree will reward that resilience with 15 to 30 fruits per season. When you consider the price of buying those deep red arils, the tree pays for itself almost instantly. The pomegranate is proof that you do not need a green thumb to start. Now, let's move to a fruit whose very survival depends on the deliberate confinement of its roots. The deliberate stress, fig trees, and the art of root binding. In gardening, we're taught to coddle our plants, but the fig tree thrives on a counterintuitive truth. It actually prefers to be confined, making it a dream for the container grower. Its secret lies in its stubborn refusal to spread its roots. When you plant a fig in a pot, you are giving it the exact conditions it loves, resulting in a dramatic increase in fruit production earlier in the season. Varieties like Petite Negra or Chicago Hardy are heavy croppers. You can see a single mature container fig produce well over 100 fruits in one single year. The beautiful thing about the fig is its ability to produce fruit on new growth, rebounding even if winter forces it to die back. Here is the genius trick that will make those homegrown figs taste like candy. Deliberate, temporary stress. By letting the tree dry out slightly during the fruiting season, you concentrate the sugars. This forgotten technique ensures your fresh, tree-ripened figs will make the $6 grocery store carton taste like cardboard in comparison. The fig rewards the gardener who understands that sometimes less is more. But for truly superior flavor and success, we must next master the precise pH requirements of the legendary blueberry. The pH puzzle. Blueberries that actually work. Blueberries are the backyard dream that turn into a gardening nightmare for most, because they skip the one simple, non-negotiable step our ancestors never missed: precise soil acidity. Blueberries demand an acidic environment, somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5 pH. Trying to achieve this in a sprawling garden bed is an exercise in futility. This is why the container is pure genius. When you are growing in a pot, you have complete control. By blending potting soil with peat moss or using an azalea mix, you instantly give the plant the exact conditions it needs. Varieties like Top Hat or Peach Sorbet are perfect for this confined life and produce heavily. A single mature bush can give you 3 to 5 pounds of berries per season. Given the price of organic blueberries, the plant pays for itself in the first year alone. But the real gold is mobility. If they need more sun, roll the pot over. If a late frost is coming, move them closer to the house. That flexibility is the forgotten wisdom that guarantees success. This level of environmental control is essential. Now, let's apply that same precise control to the citrus world and the fruit that rewards us year-round with its golden harvest. The unkillable grocery store. The ever-bearing lemon. The Meyer lemon's true power has been forgotten. It's not just a tree, it's a living year-round grocery store, engineered by nature to defy the seasons. This ever-bearing trait is the key. You can have flowers, young fruit, and ripe fruit all on the same tree at the same time. One established Meyer lemon tree can easily produce 50 to 100 lemons per year. At over $1.50 per lemon in the store, the financial logic speaks for itself. But the container is what makes this success guaranteed. Too cold? Bring it inside. Pests showing up? Isolate and treat one container easily. You control every single factor, making it easier to keep alive than a lemon planted in the ground. And here is the forgotten, budget-friendly knowledge. You do not need expensive specialized citrus fertilizer. Fish emulsion, used every 2 weeks, costs perhaps $15 a year. And the result is a tree loaded with fruit. The smell alone when these trees bloom is worth the effort. Your whole patio will smell like a citrus grove. There is something profoundly satisfying about making lemonade from lemons you grew yourself. The lemon tree rewards consistent care. Next, we will tackle the myth surrounding the most difficult fruits by showing how the container eliminates the need for a ladder. The stone fruit revolution. Peaches without the ladder. Stone fruits carry a reputation for being finicky giants, but the dwarf varieties, kept in a pot, flip that script entirely. Peaches in particular prove the container's power to control the environment. Varieties like Bonanza or El Dorado stay around 5 to 6 feet tall while producing full-sized peaches. A standard tree is susceptible to late frosts. The container grower can simply roll the tree closer to the house to protect it. If you need to net the fruit from hungry birds, doing so on a 5-foot potted tree is a simple 5-minute task. One dwarf tree will give you 20 to 40 full-sized peaches per season, fruit that ripens fully on the branch, delivering a flavor the supermarket can never match. The trick is a technique that feels wrong but works perfectly: fruit thinning. When the baby peaches form, remove about half. This concentrates the tree's energy into fewer, larger, sweeter fruits. This control allows for the perfect peach, but what about the equally challenging cherry? That small space mobility is the ingenious key to beating the birds entirely. The bird-proof harvest. Cherry trees on the patio. Ask any cherry grower their number one enemy, and the answer is the birds. These thieves can wipe out an entire season's harvest in a single afternoon. The small space gardener holds the ingenious key to beating them: the pie cherry. Varieties like Romeo or Juliet are remarkably bulletproof in a container setup. What makes them special is the control the pot grants you over your harvest. When your cherry tree is on your patio, you can throw a simple, fine mesh bird netting over it in 5 minutes flat. Try that with a towering 20-foot tree in your yard. It simply cannot be done. A mature container cherry will give you 10 to 15 pounds of fruit per season. Store-bought cherries are crazy expensive. Your tree is producing fruit worth well over $100 every single year. Furthermore, the early bloom is a gift in itself, giving you stunning clouds of the pink and white flowers. It is both highly ornamental and productive. This combination of control and productivity is precisely why container growing is such a powerful tool. Next, we will explore the extreme genius of space saving with a fruit that grows straight up, defying gravity and tradition. The vertical orchard. Unpacking the columnar apple. Imagine a full-sized apple tree that grows not out, but straight up, a living column of fruit that takes up the same space as a small garden umbrella. This vertical orchard concept is a brilliant space-saving solution. Columnar apples, with varieties like North Pole or Golden Sentinel, grow straight up with almost no side branches. They max out at about 8 to 10 feet tall, but maintain a width of only 2 feet. You can fit 3 or 4 of these on a small balcony and have fresh apples from late summer through fall. The genius here is that these trees produce full-sized, crisp, and juicy apples on a trunk that is barely wider than a pole. The savings here add up differently because apples store so well. You pick your harvest in September and October, store them in a cool spot, and you are eating fresh, homegrown apples through December or even January. Moreover, inspecting a 10-foot tall, 2-foot wide tree for pests is a quick task, allowing you to catch problems early. The columnar apple proves you can achieve maximum output with minimum footprint. But for the ultimate in fast, space-efficient harvesting, we turn to a perennial that produces for months on end. The unmatched engine, strawberry towers, and unbeatable flavor. Technically not a tree, but a productivity engine. If you want fruit, fast, and with a flavor that will make store-bought berries insulting, you start with the strawberry. In containers, this little perennial becomes an absolute productivity machine. The key is planting ever-bearing varieties in a concentrated space, like a vertical tower or a hanging basket. This setup makes them instantly accessible and keeps them off the ground. Here is the genius. They produce fruit within months of planting, and they keep producing almost daily from late spring through fall. One properly maintained container with 6 to 8 plants will give you pounds and pounds of fruit. Store-bought strawberries are bred for size and the journey they must endure, making flavor a distant second priority. Your container strawberries are bred purely for taste. The flavor difference is so dramatic that once you have had homegrown berries, the supermarket clamshell becomes almost insulting. Furthermore, they are a self-sustaining system, using runners to give you new, free plants. The unmatched flavor and relentless pace of the strawberry are a testament to the power of vertical, intensive gardening. Next, we will explore the fruit that rewards the ultimate gardening virtue, patience. The ultimate patience, the avocado payoff. Everyone tells you the avocado is impossible to grow for fruit, but for the true homesteader, the payoff of waiting 3 or 4 years for 2 decades of free organic fruit is worth the wait. This is a game of patience, and the container is the great equalizer. We are focusing on dwarf, self-pollinating varieties like Wurtz or Little Co, which absolutely will fruit in containers. You are looking at 3 to 4 years before significant fruiting begins. But the perspective our grandparents understood is this: you are planting that tree anyway, or you are committing to buying avocados forever. The one-time investment in patience pays dividends for a generation. The container's primary genius is defiance of the climate. Dwarf avocado trees thrive because you can control their environment. For those in marginal climates, the ability to simply roll your tree inside during a cold snap means people who technically cannot grow avocados are successfully harvesting them anyway. Once mature, one tree can produce 20 to 30 avocados per year. The payoff over 20 years is thousands of dollars worth of organic fruit. This is the long game. But for a quick exotic harvest that defies the rules of container gardening entirely, we look to the fastest tropical fruit on our list. The fastest tropical. The genius of the dwarf banana. If there is one tree that proves the power of the container to mimic a tropical paradise, it's the banana. It yields fruit faster than almost any other tree on this list. Though technically an herbaceous perennial, its productivity is undeniable. Dwarf varieties such as dwarf Cavendish or super dwarf will produce full-size bananas right in a patio pot. They thrive in containers because you can give them exactly what they demand: rich soil, consistent water, and warmth. You are looking at a harvest within 18 months to 2 years. A single banana plant in a container can give you 50 to 100 bananas in one harvest cycle. When you factor in the cost of organic bananas, the value is insane. A single bunch might be 20 to 40 pounds of fruit. More than the money, it is the experience. Cutting a huge bunch of bananas you grew yourself is genuinely one of the coolest things you will ever do. For those in colder climates, the container makes the impossible possible. You simply bring them inside during winter where they go semi-dormant. The final piece of genius is the propagation. After the main stem fruits, it dies back, but it sends up new shoots called pups, giving you more free plants. This tropical marvel concludes our main list of unique container fruit. Now, we shift from the bounty of the tropics to the surgical precision of the vertical orchard, revisiting the revolutionary idea of the columnar tree and its unmatched efficiency. The Golden Sentinel, a case study in columnar efficiency. We're so used to wide, sprawling trees that we miss the simple genius of the columnar form. This design is about maximizing space with military precision, turning a narrow passage into a functioning orchard. The Golden Sentinel apple is the perfect case study. The beauty of the columnar apple is its focus. It puts all its energy into growing vertically and fruiting along the main trunk. This vertical strategy multiplies your harvest while keeping the footprint minimal. Think about the economics of the efficient container-based grower. If you harvest apples in September and October, and they store well until January, that means you are avoiding 3 to 4 months of paying $3 or $4 per pound for supermarket fruit. The savings are real and stretch across seasons. Moreover, the ease of maintenance is unmatched. The crucial advantage is the pest management superiority. Since you can inspect every inch of the trunk quickly, you catch problems early. The Golden Sentinel is the forgotten technology of intensive food production. Next, we will revisit the king of year-round harvest, the tree that makes a lemon purchase feel like a true waste of resources. The citrus keeper, a deep dive into lemon longevity. The true cost of a lemon is the time you spend buying them again and again. The container-grown lemon tree is a remarkable investment that pays annual, continuous dividends for a lifetime. We return to the Meyer lemon because its ever-bearing quality makes it the ultimate expression of self-sufficiency. The lemon tree in a pot is a permanent fixture, providing fresh zest and juice year-round. This continuity of harvest, the ability to walk outside and pick a ripe piece of fruit, is a constant, low-effort joy. A well-cared-for tree in a pot can live and produce for decades, easily 20 years or more, and this longevity is achieved with surprising simplicity and the forgotten fertilizer secret. We have forgotten that specialized, expensive citrus food is unnecessary. A basic organic fertilizer like fish emulsion provides everything the tree needs. This reliance on simple, inexpensive nutrients is a hallmark of old-school gardening wisdom. The emotional reward is profound. The scent of the citrus blossoms alone can transform a small space, and the satisfaction of grating the zest from a lemon you cultivated yourself makes that trip to the produce aisle feel like a profound waste of time. This longevity is the crowning virtue of the container orchard. Now, we conclude with the most important chapter of all, the true value of all this effort, measured not in dollars, but in connection. The final accounting. The true value of a balcony orchard. We've seen the secrets, the forgotten tricks, and the surprising productivity. But the real value of a container orchard isn't measured in pounds of fruit or saved dollars. It's measured in a lost connection to the food we eat. The modern habit is convenience. The home gardener, by contrast, is an expert in time. Your peaches ripen on the branch until the sugars are concentrated. Your strawberries are not picked until they are warm from the sun. The resulting taste, the dramatic, vibrant flavor of fruit, consumed minutes after it is separated from the plant, is a pure, unadulterated sensory moment that the commercial system literally cannot deliver. This is the emotional reward that underpins the entire effort. It is the simple, profound satisfaction of closing the gap between the seed and the plate, an act of self-reliance that was once common sense. The wisdom of the past tells us we can grow our own food. The limitations are not physical. They are simply a matter of knowing the right techniques. Your personal food revolution starts today, with a pot, a secret, and a single seed. If this script helped you reclaim a forgotten piece of gardening wisdom, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next secret we dig up.